Some places don't feel dangerous. They feel familiar, safe, almost comforting. And that's what makes this story so terrifying. In the summer of 2019, an 18-year-old girl named Bella returned home from college to a quiet mountain town in France. Just beyond her family's house was a vast forest she had grown up exploring, alone, with her father, with relatives. She knew its paths, its streams, its silences. That forest felt like it belonged to her, until one sound changed everything. Before the story begins, take a second to subscribe to this channel. These stories are crafted slowly, carefully, and the smallest detail often becomes the most important one. If you enjoy real-feeling horror that stays with you long after it ends, make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Now, let me tell you about the bell Bella heard deep inside the forest. Bella's favorite place in the world was hidden deep inside the forest. A small, man-made lake surrounded by towering trees and complete silence. It wasn't marked on maps. There were no signs, only memory. To reach it, Bella would park her car on the shoulder of a quiet road, step directly into the woods, and push through thick underbrush until she reached a narrow stream. Beside the stream ran a faint animal trail carved out by years of passing wildlife. She followed it for about 20 minutes until the trail suddenly veered away. That's where Bella always left it. She stayed with the stream, walking north into the heart of the forest, sometimes stepping on rocks, sometimes wading through cold water. After about an hour, the stream met a river running east to west. She would turn left, follow it for 20 minutes, and arrive at the lake. It took 2 hours to reach, 2 hours to return. And in all her years walking that route, Bella had never once seen a stranger. That privacy was what made the lake special. It felt untouched, like it existed only for her and her family. So when Bella came home from college in June of 2019, one of the first things she did was return to the lake. Early one morning, she parked her car, stepped into the forest, and followed her familiar path. Everything felt normal, until, about 30 minutes into her walk, she heard something she had never heard before. A bell. The sound was faint at first, a single chime drifting through the trees ahead of her. Bella stopped walking immediately. There were never people out here, ever. She stood still, listening carefully, wondering if her mind had imagined the sound. For several seconds, there was nothing but birds and flowing water. Then the bell rang again. This time, it didn't stop. The ringing was constant but uneven, sporadic, almost violent, as if someone were shaking a large bell at random. It didn't sound like a pet's collar. It was too loud, too deep. Bella tried to explain it away. Maybe a box with a bell inside had fallen into the river. Maybe a piece of equipment had been abandoned. None of the explanations made much sense, but curiosity won. The sound was coming from the direction she was already heading, so she kept walking. After about 5 minutes, the bell stopped completely. The sudden silence startled her more than the ringing itself. Bella froze, expecting it to resume, but it didn't. With no clear threat and no explanation, she shrugged it off and continued toward the lake. 10 minutes later, she noticed something on the ground near the stream. At first, she thought it was a rock. Then she realized it was a beaver. Its body lay still on the forest floor. Its head was missing. Bella was no stranger to wildlife. Finding a dead animal in the forest wasn't unusual. But this was different. The cut at the beaver's neck was clean, precise, almost surgical. It didn't look like the work of a predator. The rest of the body was untouched, and there was no smell. When Bella gently nudged the body with her foot, it was still limp. Rigor mortis hadn't set in yet. The beaver had been killed recently, very recently. A chill ran through her as she realized something else. The bell she had heard earlier came from the same direction. For the first time, Bella felt uneasy. She scanned the trees, expecting to see a hunter or someone nearby. But the forest was empty, silent. She forced herself to calm down. It was daylight. She had walked these woods for years without incident. Fear, she told herself, was just imagination filling in gaps. She stepped over the beaver and continued to the lake. She stayed there for a while, enjoying the view, pretending nothing was wrong. Then she retraced her steps, passed the beaver again, returned to her car, and went home. She told herself it was nothing. She was wrong. A week later, boredom drew Bella back to the forest. This time she arrived later in the day, around 6 p.m. Sunset wasn't until 9, but she knew she'd have to move quickly. She told her parents where she was going and left. As she followed the stream, distant thunder rolled overhead. Dark clouds gathered faster than expected. A storm was moving in. Instead of turning back, Bella began jogging. Rain started to fall almost immediately. When she passed the beaver's body, it was still on the ground, unmoved. By the time she reached the river, the rain had turned into a downpour. She checked her watch. It was already after 8 p.m. She did the math quickly. Going to the lake would mean walking in the dark for a long time. Turning back now meant less darkness, less risk. Reluctantly, she turned around. Head down, focused on her footing, Bella walked back along the stream as the forest darkened around her. 15 minutes later, something struck her head. She looked up and froze. The beaver was no longer on the ground. It was hanging from a branch directly above the path, suspended by a rope. Its head had been stitched onto its front paws. Bella gagged, frantically rubbing her hair where it had touched her. Then the realization hit her like a wave of ice. This had been done recently, within the last 30 minutes. Whoever did this was still nearby. As darkness closed in and rain hammered the forest, Bella felt true fear for the first time. She began walking away, forcing herself not to run. Then she heard movement behind her, branches snapping, footsteps. She started running. Bella sprinted until her lungs burned. When she finally stopped to catch her breath, the forest went quiet. Then the bell rang. Loud, close, directionless. Panic took over. She ran again, dialing her father, sobbing and begging him to meet her at the trail split. Her parents heard the bell through the phone. They ran. Bella kept running, stumbling, falling, screaming, convinced something was chasing her. Then she reached a clearing. Moonlight revealed a tall, dark figure stepping into view. A bell hung from its waist. With every step, it rang. The way it moved wasn't human. Adrenaline surged through Bella as she ran faster than she ever had before. The bell grew louder, faster. She screamed lies about the police being nearby. The bell didn't slow. Her father heard her before he saw her. Seconds later, Bella burst from the trees and collapsed into his arms. He grabbed her and ran. They reached the car and sped away, all of them crying, all of them shaken, all of them saying the same thing. "I heard the bell." Police searched the forest the next morning. They found no figure, no beaver, no handbag Bella had dropped while running. Only one strange detail remained: a neatly folded t-shirt placed beneath a rock near the trail. No explanation was ever found. Authorities suggested it may have been a disturbed person living in the woods. Bella didn't believe that. Bella never went back into those woods. Her parents didn't either. The trails are still there. The stream still flows. The lake still sits quietly in the center of the forest, untouched. But whatever followed Bella that night was never found. No body, no explanation, no answers. And sometimes that's the most disturbing part. Because the forest didn't become dangerous that night, it always was. Bella just happened to hear the warning before it was too late. If this story gave you chills, tap the like button. It helps this channel more than you know. And if someone you care about loves true, unsettling stories like this, share it with them. Some stories are better experienced together. And finally, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We tell stories where every detail matters, and the next one might be even closer to home. Just remember, when you hear a bell in a place that's supposed to be silent, don't follow it. Walk away.